long term. There will be vaccine for sure. There will be treatment for sure. This coronavirus is not going to last for very long. I told the other day this rule of the real account. In case you remember, Pulkit, the rule of real account was debit what comes in and credit what goes out. So you need to change that rule. Debit the positivity and credit the negativity.
So welcome to the episode 2 of Charchaएं. Today we have one of my favorite teachers, that is Abhishek Zavre. So he is the core faculty and the co-founder of Ekatvam, a teacher by passion who teaches approximately 10 plus subjects to CA students. Okay, and I happen to be one of his students. So sir, start करते हैं. Lockdown कैसा चल रहा है? आपकी daughters के लिए is it a welcome change that you have been at home for so long at such a long stretch? Have you been at home for so long?
No, this lockdown is kind of a new learning experience, but I have not been at home for such a stretch for so long since starting my teaching career. I could spend about 5-6 days, 7 days at the most with my daughters, full 7 days. That was when we were on a vacation, that to Diwali vacation. That was the maximum time, but this is the first time that I have seen multiple corners of my house because cleaning activities is my responsibility. So I have seen the multiple corners this time. The room from which I am speaking right now, I have spent the time in this particular room after almost 5 years. Otherwise, you don't get opportunity to see all corners of your house, plus garden, plus cleaning, everything. I found out some old memories also.
Also spending time on terrace. I saw your photo last night.
No, terrace has been good activities. The WhatsApp forwards kind of create a pressure as well as give whatever good it is or bad it is. They say that you expose yourself to the lot of sunlight.
So spending time with your daughters at the terrace, are you getting enough time to invest now?
So investments in terms of relationships have gone up. Investment in monetary terms are completely down. I have invested around 10-20% of what I wanted to invest, but not more. I think there should be one way of selling in the market that should logically come. Normally, whenever a crisis has happened, there have been multiple bottoms that have been hit.
Yeah.
So we have tested the 20% down for only once so far. Whether you take a 2008 global financial crisis or earlier crisis of 2000 dot-com bubble or Asian debt crisis, on multiple occasions, not in each and every occasions, on multiple occasions when a crisis of this size and this nature has taken place, markets have gone up, gone down at least twice. So I don't know whether this will happen. No one can say this with the 100% confidence, but I'm just waiting for some more time. But I already invested some part of it, not more part of it.
So that was what my next question was, that from 41,000 we came down to 26,000. That was an approximately 35% downfall, and then from that downfall we reached an 20% increase there.
Yeah.
Now we are somewhere around.
Yeah.
So now we are somewhere around 31,000. So is it a complete black swan event for the investors out there, for the people who are investing? Do you think there are mixed reactions from both the sides?
No, it was a complete black swan. Nobody had anticipated this kind of an event at all, and the magnitude with which it has created the problem. किसी के सपने में भी नहीं आया होगा अरे ऐसा कुछ होगा. When the coronavirus was growing in China, we were basically celebrating Donald Trump's visit to India. So at that point of time, even United States did not thought of this particular magnitude. WHO also initially did not make it a pandemic. So everybody is taken for a toss. So really making a predictions here or a regression or forecasting is not going to work for this particular situation because it is unseen. Like even if the lockdown is lifted, I don't think that the pandemic will be over. Lifting a lockdown is basically restarting your economy. So the impact of pandemic is going to be there. For how long, really, we don't know unless until we have some effective treatment launched for this particular pandemic. It's going to be there.
So exactly what you're saying, just adding on to that, as revenues have hit of all the companies in all the sectors, so you can't just predict which sector might revive at what time. Are you of that opinion?
No, I think we can have let's say sector by sector. This sector will be the badly hit for the next 1-2 years. This sector will be less affected. So we can create a categorization of different sectors like that. So in my opinion, let's say something like a pharmaceuticals and FMCG have not seen the downfall. Like Procter and
Right.
Gamble in the United States, their sales were up by around 12-13%.
Yeah.
Because people did the more stocking of various hygienic items. So impact will not be even for all the sectors. It's going to be extremely uneven.
Right.
So we cannot put a timeline as to it, but we can definitely say, let's say FMCG and pharmaceuticals will be the first one to bounce back, and travel and let's say hospitality sector will be the last one to bounce back. Because hospitality will take a lot of time. First, it has to be the mental shift, and plus globally, how much time does it take to completely cure out? God only knows. So hospitality will be the last one to look for investment.
So as a middle class who is still not sure that he will have his job maybe in next 2 months, what do you suggest? Should I stay invested maybe in the small investments that I'm making, maybe in mutual funds and provident fund? So provident fund had the maximum release in the month of March in India. So so as a middle class, what should I do? Should I stay invested, or should I have cash in hand with me and just wait until until we have a vaccine or there is a solution that this situation is improving?
See, in my opinion, as a middle class or as every investor, you should have contingency funds for 6 months to 1 year. Cash is the king right now.
Okay.
So 6 months to 1 year, at least you should have a contingency fund, because we really don't know until what time it is going to affect. So you should have enough contingency fund for meeting your day-to-day expenses, as well as some kind of a healthcare cost that you may have to incur in case you don't have health insurance policy available with you. So keeping that contingency reserve aside, thereafter, if you have got a surplus left out and you really don't see a big impact on the business that you're doing or the job that you're doing, then the excess amount can be invested in the especially large cap. You should not try to look at the small cap and mid cap at this point of time at all, because they'll be the last one to recover, if at all. Recovery will definitely happen. By what time recovery will happen? Right now, whatever we are seeing in the market it cannot be called as a recovery, because it's in case of Nifty, the fall is from 12,200 to the 7,500, and we are just back at 9,500.
Right.
And we really don't know will the markets continue there. So I think excess funds, if you have, you should allocate let's say 30-40% of the excess funds right now without waiting for it. And the remaining funds you can deploy at a later point of time, remaining investable funds. But in my opinion, especially the persons who are doing job should try to focus on reskilling themselves. Or because you have a lot of time, because there are a lot of jobs which will be displaced completely. Whatever job you are doing right now, if that job may not continue, or that job may require different kind of skill sets in the times to come. It could be grasping of technology, it could be understanding of new types of transactions. So everyone, depending on the respective domain in which you operate, you need to find out various sources to reskill yourself. Don't go under the assumption that my job is going to be there. See, if the employer doesn't start getting the revenues, his profitability is hit, from where he's going to pay the salary here. Whatever the kind that employer may be. See, right now TCS has said that we will honor every employment contract that we have signed in the recent past.
Yeah,
40,000. Let's say, they said they will honor. But let's assume, this pandemic continues for even more time, and the TCS is not able to get the revenue. So they will not be able to do the new hiring, or they'll not be able to give the growth rate in the salary. So reskill yourself, put up additional skills. Since many of them have time, rather than the social media or Netflix or TV series, you need to find out some time to reskill yourself. There are multiple sources available for reskilling yourself. You need to reskill. Like I learned a bit of data mining, data analytics using some of the courses on EDX and Unacademy. So just you need to find out some sources to reskill yourself.
Yeah. So how do you see the two bailout plans that were offered? So there were about 1.7 lakh crore bailout plan that was given by Nirmala Sitharaman at the start of the
Pandemic,
coronavirus
correct.
pandemic, the lockdown, and now just 2 days back there was Shatikant Das, the RBI governor, giving another bailout plan of 50,000 crores. So this decrease in repo rate and reverse repo rate and the various moratorium given on loans. How do you see what do you see that the steps you're taken by the government are in the right way towards the right outcome?
See, whenever such kind of a pandemic and the fallout of that pandemic results into economic crisis, you need action on two fronts. One is a monetary policy action, and the second is a fiscal policy action. On the fiscal front, our finance minister has given the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana of about 1.7 lakh crores. That was a basic necessity. That is not going to give a fillip to the economy. That is just basically trying to give the basic necessities to the public at large, or the poor people, or those who have not. And that must have been done. There's no need of evaluating. That is necessary. It should have been done. It has been done. So that will not revive the economy as such. That is just a spending thing that is done by the government. It was okay. In my opinion, the government should have used the cash transfer more than giving the rice and giving the other food grain items. But the problem in India is we do not have the database of those who are at the bottom of the pyramid. Complete database of those who are bottom of the pyramid, verified database with their bank account details is not available. So implementing a fiscal policy tool and transferring the money directly in the hands of those who need is a big challenge in our country. In my opinion, an exercise which was a non-political exercise called the National Population Register was very important for this. NPR was a political exercise. It was not dependent on which religion you belong or whatever. So that exercise should have taken precedence over the Citizenship Amendment Bill. But government, both were okay. Government's intentions in both seem to be right. But if once we have a data now, this NPR exercise now, obviously it would not have been completed prior to Corona. But in case we have a perfect database, fiscal policy can be implemented in a much better way. Right now, government is completely clueless as to how many migrant workers are affected, how many daily wage workers are affected, how many small businesses are affected. That database itself is not clearly available with the government, and that's why it is taking a time for giving up another fiscal package. So the first package that Nirmala Sitharaman gave, in my opinion, that was not a package. It was basic necessity which was to be provided. It's a duty of the state to provide food and shelter to those who don't have it. So that was a fiscal policy. The real fiscal policy or real fiscal incentive is yet to come. Government is in the final process of deciding the contours of that particular deal. Maybe government will come up in this particular week or maybe next week, depends. On the monetary policy front, in my opinion, RBI has done extremely well. Though they are short, they are not met all the expectations. But what I have seen as an institution, RBI is RBI is very prompt and responsive to what market forces are telling RBI. So whatever market forces are requiring, RBI has really done well. And that can be seen from the depreciation of Indian rupee vis-a-vis the other currencies of emerging markets. So if you look at the other emerging markets across the world and compare them with the US dollar, they have depreciated by the levels of 20-25%. So rupee is still holding. Rupee, we are just depreciated by 6-7%, not more than that. Though we are at a record low levels, lifetime low levels right now, we are very close to it. But we have not fallen as much as what emerging markets have fallen. So monetary policy, that is primarily due to the monetary policy incentives that RBI gave to what that happened last week and the one that happened in the month of March. So both the incentives that RBI has given have been really good. We are really waiting for a fiscal policy, but RBI has a very limited resources available with itself to, let's say, channelize the economy back. Because see, what RBI can do is RBI can push the money into the market. But वो पैसा लेने के लिए तो कोई तो चाहिए ना वहाँ पर. RBI is reducing the rates of interest, but even if the banks do the transmission of that to the lower level, borrower should be there in the market. As a businessman, I will borrow something when I see a demand. So unless until we don't see the demand coming up, it's not going to happen. In my opinion, this is more of a demand side problem than the supply side problem.
Exactly. So Just coming on to that, I remember you giving us an analysis during the that you had invested in debentures during the 2014 Lok Sabha
Huh.
elections
Yes, just
because
prior to that, huh?
yeah, just prior to that, because you thought because there is a party, irrespective of maybe it is Congress or BJP, it is coming in power, so there will not be any policy paralysis. So the same applies to this situation. So do you suggest we should invest in debentures now?
No, no, no,
Because,
no. The situation then and the now, there is a difference. At that point of time, prior to elections of 2014,
hmm,
India had a very high rate of interest, primarily due to very high food inflation
food
and the
inflation, yeah.
policy paralysis.
Hmm,
So at that point of time, we were short on certain food items. So that's why food inflation was also high, and interest rates were high. And as the Modi government came to the power in 2014, that inflation
hmm,
spiked down and the crude oil prices also came down. At
right.
that point of time, crude oil was trading at $110 per
$10.
barrel.
Yeah.
So that time inflation was pretty high. Inflation was not within the control,
Hmm,
and that's why interest rates very high. Whenever you invest in a bonds,
hmm,
basically आपको क्या करना है, जब interest rate बहुत ज्यादा है तब bond खरीदना चाहिए, so that when the interest rates in the economy come down, the bond
hmm,
prices go up and you make a capital gain as well as interest. Both put together give you good return. So as of now, in this particular situation, interest rates have already come down.
yeah.
Interest rates have come down a lot in the last 2 years,
Hmm,
primarily because inflation has been in a good control.
yeah.
At that time, there was no monetary policy committee framework. Today, we have
Hmm,
a monetary policy committee framework. So inflation is targeted very appropriately. MPC's single most yardstick is a inflation. तो अभी inflation बहुत सारा control में है. Already rate of interest has come down. There's a too much of liquidity in the system. मतलब money available is there. So interest rates are already pretty low. So
yeah.
herein after expecting the interest rates will go down too much in a short run is something tough. So
Right.
bond is not an attractive asset class when interest rates are pretty low.
Hmm,
When interest rates are pretty low, on the contrary, equity becomes attractive. Like right now, the rate of interest in the United States is hardly 0.5 to 1%.
yeah.
It has come on for 1 year yield or has fallen even below 0.5.
Hmm,
So there could be once the demand is revived back, once India does, I really expect Indian government to come forward and ease the regulatory aspects too much. अगर हमने सच में रेगुलेटरी अपने जो हर्डल्स है वो कम किए और हमने
hmm,
सबको वेलकम किया,
uh,
we welcome everyone irrespective of the nationality to which they belong to, and we welcome that foreign capital. If that foreign capital comes up, it will come at a dirty cheap rates, because in the US or Europe or Japan, the capital is available at almost nil rate or 0.5% per annum. That
right.
capital with the appropriately proper hedging tools used for currency, if
Hmm,
it comes in the Indian economy, it can lead to a much job creation. Obviously, we
right.
must put the controls, or like what government has done, the FDI controls on money coming from especially China. The
China, yeah.
government has come up with the
From the
notification
neighboring countries.
that neighboring countries everyone
वो बोलने
understands.
के लिए,
Neighboring,
हाँ.
हाँ, बोलने के लिए है. It's not to
Hmm,
single out China as such.
right.
So government has put up the restriction on FDI that comes up from China,
Hmm,
especially. That is good move, but you can we should welcome a lot of FDI. May not in short run. Obviously, China will be on a target list, but
yeah.
at a short run, we should open. India has always come and done a reform whenever it is a crisis.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
Indira Gandhi government, I remember they did a devaluation of the currency for the first time when we were in a food crisis, and then we had a Harit Kranti and
Hmm.
वो जय जवान जय किसान का नारा लग गया, चाइना
फिर
का
उसके
वॉर हो
बाद
गया, सब
वॉर
कुछ हो
हुआ
गया,
था,
हाँ
इंडो
सब
चाइना वॉर हो गया था.
इंडो चाइना वॉर हुआ था. So India always at the time of a crisis has come up with the reform. So maybe
Hmm.
it is Indira Gandhi government or Narasimha Rao government in the
Yeah. LPG
1991.
1992.
So, or
191,
maybe
92.
Atal Bihari Vajpayee government when it was a Pokhran
Dot
nuclear
com.
test,
Yeah.
or .com bubble thereafter, or
Hmm.
variety of governments of Chidambaram when there was a taper tantrum done by the US central bank. So
Hmm.
multiple points of time in the history, if you see, India has changed its rules and regulations whenever crisis has been there. And we have really come well out of every crisis. So I'm still hopeful about Indian economy. May not be just for this particular year, forget. There is no point in predicting
Hmm.
GDP for the year 20-21.
Hmm.
So that is no one's
Useless.
game. It is something out of the control of any human being.
Yeah.
But definitely 21-22 onwards, there will be vaccine that will be developed for coronavirus. Public will develop immunity. So the vaccine will come by maybe by the end of this particular calendar year, or maybe for March 2021 to August 2021. So vaccine will come for sure. There is no doubt about that. There will be vaccination. That vaccination may not be in a preventive nature. It may be curative vaccine at the most. Preventive vaccination may not be possible. But even if it is a curative vaccine, it will be okay, because this disease is not something which is making you extremely uneasy. So a patient can go to a hospital. Very few patients are requiring ICU control or ventilators as such. So if your curative vaccine is also available, this pandemic will be brought under control, but not in a short run. So this year you forget, but 2021-22, in my opinion, India can do a lot of reforms in this particular year. One of the big reform that is maybe implemented this particular week itself is the labor laws in India. We had almost 45 to 50 labor laws in India. In case you remember, Pulkit, your IPCC time, you had multiple labor laws. I don't know how much you studied.
Gratuity.
Gratuity was there, bonus was there, provident fund was there. So there are multiple labor laws. All these labor laws, government is combining into 4 labor codes, and they are much more rationalized as compared to what laws are made earlier. Earlier laws were basically made assuming it is an industrial era. So these are laws which were made at the time of World War II kind of situation.
Right.
So those laws are no longer valid. So government has come up with a new set of laws which they are giving a fancy name code, since the insolvency and bankruptcy code, instead of act, they are calling it as a code. So there are 4 labor codes that are expected to be notified this particular week. One code is already notified, but that entire process of implementation, if it starts and really India improves on ease of doing business. Personally, in my opinion, the World Bank index, which is published, we have improved in ease of doing business, but the countries which were taken over are some countries which are very small
Bangladesh
countries.
Has taken over.
So whatever, Bangladesh could have taken over, but problem is we are really not going into the league of countries where huge manufacturing hub is there. So हमने अगर manufacturing facilities को बहुत आसान कर दिया, मतलब आओ यहाँ पर manufacturing setup करो, quality products बनाओ, honestly business करो, ethically तुम business करो, capital protect करने के लिए हमने laws create किए, and सबसे important जो है हमारे यहाँ पे contract का जो enforcement होता है, वो बहुत weak है. Contract law जो है अपना इंडिया का, उसका enforcement ensure करना is very very tough challenge. The contracts are let's say breached, and nobody just cares about honoring the terms and conditions of contract. So if India can ensure the sanctity of the contracts that are created, plus the capital that comes into India, and we say that we will not change taxation regime so often, we'll have a constant taxation policy for next 4-5 years. So India, I think, has all the recipe required for let's say becoming a manufacturing hub, because we already got a lower corporate tax rates now, much lower corporate tax rates. We already got a much more formalized economy due to the demonetization. We already implemented a GST as a reform, though implementation bottlenecks are there, but reform is already implemented. So there are a lot of good things that are required for manufacturing which are already in place. A digital economy, a consumer base is there. So we can be the next export hub. I personally see India getting a big benefit post the coronavirus is over, because there will be a good number of companies will shift their investments from China to the other countries. Like at least Japan has
given a bailout plan.
It is given a concession. So there will be a good number of industries which would come out to India. We will be competing with the other countries also. But we will have reforms very soon. Government is definitely working on those reforms at the back end. Government has started a Lok Sabha Secretariat also today. Lok Sabha Secretariat Delhi has started. So government will bring those reforms irrespective of what political party it is in India. If you see whether it is a BJP government or Congress government or third front government, all governments, whenever there was a crisis, they have come out and they have really given up, really made changes and reforms. So I expect such reforms to come up, and then India will be a good manufacturing hub. 21-22 onwards, it's good, and that's what the market is discounting right now.
So
assuming
exactly,
that earnings will go up at least from that particular year.
Right. So we do have a bit of competition from, let's say, countries, emerging countries like Bangladesh, Vietnam, also Japan. Some of the Japanese companies have shown interest in both the markets, especially Vietnam, because again, the language there is easier to catch rather than India.
Hmm.
But yeah, even I'm affirmative, just like you. So again, Mike, you were talking about China. So do you think can India push back like what America and Japan are doing in the global in the here in the global community? What they are doing to China by constantly blaming them? Can India receive that pushback? Or do you believe in the second school of thought, which says that uh, the America's decline will be further. There will be more further decline in America, and then China will slowly emerge as the number one global part. Which school of thought do you belong to when it comes to this global politics?
In my opinion, India should play a diplomatic role. We and
As
definitely what
always,
we are doing right now is we are
yeah,
doing we are playing that diplomatic role. Whatever
right.
FDI restrictions we have put up on China, that is basically as a result of the political crisis that will come out in
Mm,
India. The FDI restriction on China that we have put up
mm.
indirectly is basically because the Indian media started saying that the People's Bank of China has bought 1.1% stake
2%
in the
HDFC,
HDFC Limited.
right.
And then Rahul Gandhi had put up a tweet, and in response
Mm,
to that, government had put up the restriction, and then Rahul Gandhi also thanked the government. So that was a
mm,
political drama.
right.
That is not going to affect the relations of between the two nations directly.
Mm,
See, if you see the current government stature, Mr. Modi's stature, and I think Modi will continue for another 5-10 years
yeah,
for bare minimum.
by minimum.
So he has been maintaining extremely good relations with both China as well as United States.
Yeah,
So India should continue doing that. See, there is no problem. There are America and China may be fighting between each other as to who is number one or who is going to claim the number one. For us, our job is to basically ensure that we eradicate the poverty
mm,
in our country. So that
right.
eradication of poverty requires good manufacturing or good economic activity to take place.
Mm,
And we are in a best possible scenario right now, not immediately in this year, but thereafter,
next year, yeah.
to get the advantage of whatever this is going to happen. Because see, the world demand is huge. Europe is basically becoming a problem because the aging population of Europe and the
Mm,
European nations have started fighting among themselves to
yeah,
at
yeah.
least on economic issues,
Mm,
not if not on the physical or border issues.
mm,
So economic issues, there is a tussle in the Europe.
mm,
So India can be that cost-effective production hub.